Welcome back to Office Hours. For December 10th, 2020. Can everybody hear me okay? Please let me know if you can't hear me or if I'm too loud. God forbid. This is a pretty standard Krell patch here. We've got a cycling envelope from the right side of maths that is controlling the amplitude of our oscillator while also clocking the woggle bug and letting a bunch of random stuff randomize a bunch of notes and such. I've also got it running through the morphogene so that it's constantly recording and mulching. I'm only on the left now. Are we still stuck to the left side of the mix? Sorry about that. I want to remind anybody who has missed the opportunity that we do have some fun things from previous office hours that we can still send to you. We have these stickers that were created with Pete and Lewis, and we also have the score for Shed by Vanna Hafar, which was discussed a few weeks ago. If anybody's interested in any of these things, send your email to media@makenoisemusic.com. I'm not sure why we're still stuck to the left, so I'm going to give me 1 minute to try to figure that out here real quick. Did that fix it? Are we in stereo now on the microphone? Hopefully so. This too is a special edition of Office Hours. Turn that synth down a little bit. Because we're going to play Patch the card game. Hopefully that gets in focus there. Creation of our friend James Sigler, who I did see in the chat, so he's joining us here. And James is going to join me next week on Office Hours for a conversation about it as well. So make sure and tune back in then. So Patch the Card Game has just been released, and having played it a little bit, I can say it's kind of like having Office Hours in your home. The cards serve as the chat room a little bit to some degree. But it's a lovely set of cards and comes with a bunch of different types of instructions on how to patch, how to conceptualize your patch, and how to also progress or disrupt your patch. So the basic idea, and I'm sure James will correct me in the chat if I'm glaringly wrong, is there are 3 different types of cards. We've got the abstraction cards, which, here's a bullet example, the blue cards. This one says, create an entire patch without listening, which is probably not the best one to do on a live stream. Another example, use no attenuation. These are ideas for things to do while you are building your patch. I already built this patch because I had to have some sound going on at the beginning of the live stream, so either we can break it all down or we can just start to disrupt it straight away. The other cards are progression and disruption cards. Progression being green, disruption being kind of a rusty brown, really nice color there. An example of the progression card, swap attack and decay times. An example of disruption card: for each connection, flip a coin. If heads, unpatch. So these are the kind of things that can radically change the progress of the patch, or probably even destroy it, which, as most of us know, is one of the most fun things you can do to a patch. And as far as it seems like most of the sort of game modes that James has created involve having the abstraction cards in one pile and then the progression and disruption cards mixed together in the other pile. So what I'm kind of thinking is let's progress and disrupt this patch first, and if it gets to the point where it's just so broken that we can't go any further, which I doubt will happen, but could happen, we could always start over again with an abstraction card as well. So I've got a deck of cards. I've shuffled just the progression and disruption cards together here, and I'm gonna pull the top card. I've got unpatch all pitch inputs. Okay, that's gonna change it pretty drastically right off because the Krell patch is heavily based around that volt per octave input on the oscillator. I have a pitch input on the Echophone, a pitch input on the DPO, and I'm using the vari-speed input on the Morphogene, so I've unpatched all those now. Somebody asks, how did we design the cards patch game? It is, in fact, the creation of our friend James Sigler, who you will see in the chat today and who I'll also talk with on office hours next Thursday. And he's been working on it for some years now, and so it's been on the way for a while, and something that he's really excited about, and so are we. So that really changed this patch quite a bit. We've completely, I would say we've destroyed the fact that it's a Krell patch anyway. If we haven't destroyed the patch itself, it's more of a low drone now. And I was using pitch shifting on Echophone and vari-speed control on Morphogene to sort of make these echoes get all swirly, as well as the changing pitch of the main voice. And we've lost both of those things, so it's become quite a bit more static. James has said, and he can probably confirm or deny this in the chat, but he said that it's always supposed to be fun, and if something gives you a result that you don't like, then you don't have to stick with it, because the point isn't just to follow the rules for the sake of it, but rather to have fun. And of course, I'm tempted to turn the pitch shifter back up, turn the oscillator tone back up, but I'm just not going to do that right now because I'd rather see where the cards take me. So let's pull another one. Progression. Add noise. Okay. There's a few ways to do that in this system. Does anybody have a suggestion for how we should add noise? I'll go ahead and add that to the chat there. I can think of a couple ways we might add noise. Chris Walker says digital noise. Noich says Wogglebug, and that's, I think, going to be the closest thing to noise I'm going to get straight out. Oh, somebody says from Herbverb. We could do that. Let's do that. Let's pull the Herbverb out of the signal path and instead patch it to a channel of the Optimix here. Get some decay. let the reverb self-oscillate, and I've just got it patched into the Optimix, and then it's being controlled by the one of the cycling envelopes. And now we've got some noise going. Let's pull another card. I've got tune VCOs to a chord. Okay, so right now I'm only using one VCO audibly. It's the right output of the DPO, but I'm also using the left output but in LFO mode, so I'm going to go ahead and take that out of LFO. I think I'll let that VCO be controlled in the Optimix. Progression card. Modulate the clock rate. The clock rate is already being modulated by the Wogglebug. So we can either find something else to modulate it with, or we can add another clock. I'm actually clocking the Renee, but I'm not patching it to anything, so maybe let's do that. I'll take CV out from the X channel here, and we'll take the output. Or simply draw another card. So I've got a clock now, clocking the Renee and sequencing this chord that we've got going on here. The clock rate's already being modulated by the Wogglebug. I guess I'm going to speed it up so it's a little more obvious that it's being modulated. It's being modulated by both the smooth and woggle outputs of the Wogglebug already. Think creatively on how to do the action. If you just can't, or it's already done somehow, just skip and keep going. I'm pretty happy with the result, so I'm going to just keep going. Choose a module, set its controls at maximum. Which module should we turn all the way up? Whichever comment comes first is the one I'll do. makes a really nice little crunchy addition to what we already had. Seems like most people are saying more Hijinks. I think we made the right choice. I'm gonna make a strange executive decision and add more access points to Renee so we have a longer sequence. Okay, they were all the same note. Let's change that up a little bit. Okay, let's draw another card. I've got choose 2 modules and patch them together. What 2 modules shall I choose? If everybody wants to suggest 1 module, then I'll take the first 2 modules that we get. Pressure points is the first module. And echophone is the second. Won't do anything automatically. I don't have a brains attached, so using pressure to change the echo time, using a row to change the pitch depth. Decisions are encouraged. While you can let the cards decide all the patching, a player shouldn't feel like that's the only way to do it. And indeed, I have made another executive decision to turn the mix control up on the echophone a little bit so that we can hear these manual modulations a little better. This is Patch the Card Game, Volume 1. Shall we draw another card? Oop. There we go. For each VCO, flip a coin. If heads, change frequency. I don't have a coin handy, so I'm going to flip this micro SD card. The SanDisk logo is heads. The connection elements on the back are tails. Heads will be VCO A, tails will be VCO B. Oh, and first let me write that into the comment here. Okay, so I misread that. I'm actually going to flip it twice. So I'm going to flip it for VCO A first. I got heads, so we're changing the frequency. VCOB. Oops, that was not a good flip. In fact, I lost the card. Luckily, I've got more. Okay. And this one is also heads. How to get hold of a deck, go to patchtcg.com. A little bit for this patch now. Still being modulated. Let's pull another card, shall we? Choose a connection and unpatch it. That's a tough one. This could be something that either completely destroys the patch or has almost no effect whatsoever. Which connection should we unpatch? I'm going to leave the output as not an option, making that executive decision. Okay, woggle tempo in is the one that has been suggested. That's going to speed things up quite a bit, I think. I don't know, it actually didn't make that big of a difference. Okay, well, so it goes. Next one. For each connection, flip a coin. If heads, unpatch. Alright, that's going to take a while. But let's do it. Gonna grab cables. Well, boy, there's a lot of connections here. Okay, we'll start with this connection here. Heads, unpatch. James has a suggestion. Drop the SD card from above and then unpatch the closest cable it lands on. Okay. Shaking it up like I'm rolling the dice here. Oops. And I dropped it on the... not on the... Let's try it again. Okay. The closest one is this modulation of maths both. I'd say let's do that until we hear a change in the patch. Closest one is the XCV. So that changes things for sure. Ready for the next card? Choose a module, patch every connection. Alright, first module that's named in the chat will be the one we do. Expand, okay. Alright, well that we can probably handle pretty easily, really. Since it's not patched up yet, the expand, I'll start by just running the whole mix into it. And we'll patch both outputs. Going to go ahead and take advantage of that DPO sequence to use it for pan. Actually, let's use something with a bigger swing. Let's use the unpatched smooth woggle. Are people hearing the panning on this? Is the panning audible to y'all viewers? I'm not able to hear it. Okay. I think the same thing that caused my voice to be on the left is now causing the patch to be all in the center. So I'm going to fix that real quick, and I apologize for the late. Starting to hear some stereoification coming in now. Okay, so we need to patch more stuff to the X-band because there are 9 more jacks to patch. I'm going to patch that reverb noise into the other channel. I'm going to do something weird, patch the tempi to some of these bits on there. I'm going to patch a sine wave to the other side of the crossfader on the first channel. I'm going to patch what do I have available here? I'm going to patch another Renee output to do the crossfading. I have to clock that Renee. I'm going to patch the Morphogene's CV output to the aux level input. I'm going to patch. Okay, I'm all out of long cables, so give me a sec here. Okay, I'm gonna patch. Should I patch a Wogglebug audio output to the channel B input? Should I do that? Oh boy. I'm gonna make another executive decision and attenuate that before I patch it in. And we're gonna patch something into the aux input. Well, that sounds good. How about one other output of the reverb and the feedback out from the Echophone? I'm going to do something else before I move on, which is I'm going to take that Woggle VCO and I'm going to ring mod it before I patch it in. There we go. Yeah, we're making good time. It's about 40 minutes in. Somebody says turn down the woggle speed. I'm okay with that. It'd probably be better if the woggle was also being affected in some way instead of being so dry. But we don't have much left for that. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna put it through the reverb instead. We still need something for the channel B input on the second part of the X-Pan. So does anybody have an idea for that? Patch the Echophone clock. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's pull another card. Choose a module, patch an output to an input. Somebody have a suggestion for a module for that? Says, this has actually become one of my favorite aspects of playing patch, ending up in this space where I'm really challenged to bring a patch back to something I'm really happy with sonically. Yeah, I like that too, because it's doing, it's so easy to break the patch as a as a person who has, in years other than 2020, worked at a lot of trade shows, I've had a lot of times where I walk away from the system, people patch it, listening, lots of people who don't know what they're doing, they patch until it either sounds terrible or isn't making sound, and then they walk away from it, and my challenge is to bring it back to something good as fast as possible, and I've kind of decided that most patches are 4 to 6 minutes from being really good, no matter how broken they are. Okay, so I got Echophone as a suggestion for a module to patch to itself. Let's see, I don't have any outputs left on it, so I'm going to have to take a good Modumix. We can patch, we can take its out, oh, this might be crazy. Yeah, I believe it is supposed to be the same module. Now put to an input on the same module. Oh, somebody suggests FM bus. Let's do that. We've got one output left on the DPO, so I'm going to take the saw into the FM bus. Ooh, that sounds really nice. James also says he designed the actions and mechanics, and Nathan Moody did all of the art. It really came together nicely. This art is beautiful. There's a different little icon for every single card in the entire game. New card. Start from scratch or you're done. What do y'all think? Should we... Well, really, our choices are start from scratch or ignore the card, because if we just leave it, then we're still 15 minutes out from the end of the office hours here. Normally I would say let's start from scratch, because just breaking patches is fun, but this patch has turned out quite well. I kind of don't want to bust it yet. I kind of think I just want to ignore this card. What do y'all think? Somebody says scratch. Let's take a vote. The first 6 comments, the first 5 comments, if 3 of them are from scratch, then we'll start from scratch. So far it's 1-1. Now we got 3 people saying skip the card. 4 people. Okay. We're gonna skip the card. Keep this patch going. James says I'm done, but I got 15 minutes of what I don't want to be dead air here. Oh, but James might be about to suggest something else. Turn it up. Playing patch decomposition. Is that listed on the rules card? Or can you tell us real quick how to do it, James? Maybe it means taking only disruption cards? Patch decomposition will be 10 progression or just disruption cards. So we're going to do 10 disruption cards. So I'm going to separate them out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, there's only 8 of them, so let's just do all of them. Choose a connection and unpatch it. Alright. I'm going to do what's suggested on the box and throw a card. Throw this card at the system, and whichever one it lands on, I'll unpatch. And I missed. There we go. It's this. That was the cool little clicks. They're gone. Unpatch all pitch inputs. There's one. And that is the only one currently patched. Unpatch all pitch inputs. I already did that one. Choose a module. Unpatch all of its inputs. Alright. Let's get a suggestion for that one. Which module should we unpatch the inputs on? Keep forgetting about the pressure points. Tempe doesn't have any inputs patched. Let me get a different one. Alright, I'm going to throw a card. Okay, Morphogene is next suggestion. Okay, so I'm unpatching gene size. Oop, the mono input. SOS. That's definitely patch decomposition. Because that was where most of the signal was going through. Choose a connection and unpatch it. I'm just going to throw the card again. Land it on this one. We're not going to hear that much because it's not in the path anymore. Choose a connection and unpatch it. Start from scratch or you're done. Okay, maybe we are done. That was basically enough to break the patch, so that I think most of the other connections won't do anything. So I think we've successfully played around. Should we try to do some kind of 10-minute lightning round? Well, somebody says embrace it. Let's see what happens when we patch a couple more. Choose a module, patch every connection. That gives us the opportunity to put something back into the Morphogene, right? And we could start by taking that Optimix back in there again. And then patch as much stuff into the rest of it as we possibly can come up with. Running out of cables again. each module, flip a coin if heads untapped. I'm going to start with the woggle bug because I'm getting kind of sick of it. I'm flipping the sticker. Heads. Unpatching the woggle bug. I've missed most of the last few minutes of the chat. Sorry about that. Getting everything patched on the morphogene was took me a minute. James is making a good point here. On Ways to Play on patchtcg.com, you can see some different variants of this game. Patch Battle Royale with Magic EDH/Commander being the direct influence on it. I don't know what that is, but I think the rest of y'all maybe do. Let's see. Kind of like what we have going here again. And the last one in my deck here is choose a module and set its controls at maximum. I don't think I realized TCG stood for Trading Card Game. I thought it was the card game. Whoever suggests a module to turn everything all the way up on, that's the one I'll do, and then I think that at that point we'll be done, because we've basically done every one of the progression and disruption cards now. Verb it is. Now let's do it to more of them too. Why not? Maths. Morphogene. Everything's already pretty much up already on Morphogene because we did that to it earlier. We can turn more things up. Turn up Modumix, which has nothing in it. Turn up Echophone. Turn up video. You know what? We were stuck all the way on the left on one of those channels a while back from a cable that pulled out. Some tinnitus here. I'm gonna turn a knob or two of my own volition here. Now we have destroyed the patch, or disrupted it, or whatever you want to call it. This patch has made its way through all the progressions and disruptions we could throw at it. I'm going to go ahead and put the website back up on the chat here. patchtcg.com for Patch the card game. Thanks for joining us, James. James will be back with us next week as well, and we will have a little chat about this and probably some other stuff. I hope everybody decides to come and join us. This patch is now officially disrupted, and we've officially been streaming for an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the closing banner on and wish you all a great week and weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. And thank you, James, for making this awesome game that took us to some really fun places and will continue to do so.